All right, this is probably the most asked for practice. The one most people have the most biggest problem with is, and the topic of a lot of thinking, a lot of my personal thinking goes into what can we do to have the experience of gratitude when we don't, in those places where we're not grateful or those times when we're not grateful. And I think that's an interesting distinction because one of the hangups I think people have is something horrible will happen, loss of a loved one, someone suffering, any of the things you or I would deem horrible and not get pushback about. Um, and then the question is, okay, well, how could I be grateful for that? How could I be grateful for my child suffering, or how could I be grateful for what's happening in the world? And I don't think you start there. I think that's you don't. I mean, if you just wanted to get an answer, you don't. No one's asking you to. Don't. Um, and you might. People do. Mandela's, the John Admiral Stockton's, the Viktor Frankl's went through horrible, horrific experiences and wound up grateful for those experiences. So it's not that one can't, but you certainly don't have to. And if that's a question for you, then don't be grateful for that. Just leave it. The opportunity is, though, really, could you feel gratitude in the face of that? Not for that, but not for that thing happening, but in the face of that thing happening, in the space, in the time that is happening, is gratitude also available? And the answer there is it is, without a doubt. It is. You can, in fact, have a grateful orientation, grateful experience to life in the face of any circumstances. That's you, and you could start there, and that may in fact lead you to being grateful for the circumstances that you currently consider horrific, but it doesn't have to, and I just wouldn't put any pressure on it. And if it's for most in most cases, it's just too far of a leap. You can't go from A to Z. You got to go through the alphabet to get there. So, just the A to B part would be experiencing gratitude where you are in the moment, in the face of, along with whatever's going on. So that's where we want to have our attention today, is the opportunity to have gratitude show up in the face of whatever it is we're dealing with. So good morning. You can settle in and close your eyes. And if that feels safe where you are, sort of wiggle yourself into a comfortable position. Feel your feet connect to the floor. And just as with each exhale, you can feel yourself connecting a little deeper. Maybe some excess energy leaves with the exhale, allowing the shoulders to fall away from the ears, releasing the tongue from the roof of the mouth. Scanning the body just to notice any place where your attention gets snagged. And in those places, you can just bring your awareness and notice what's catching your attention. bringing to mind your intention for being here this morning. And allowing your awareness to ride your breath in and out of the body. Noticing all the sensations of the breath, the temperature of the air on the way in and out, how the belly feels as it expands and relaxes. Any other sensations associated with your breath. Just noticing them. Not trying to change anything. Just breathing. For this practice, bring to mind one area that you do not have gratitude for. An area of frustration, upset, disappointment. Take a small enough area that it's not traumatic, that it's something you could work on in a short time. Just an area where you're scared or worried or upset, disappointed, frustrated. You have no gratitude for that. You're going to notice which of the emotions are most present. Emotions are sometimes complex and intertwined with each other. There's dissatisfied, upset, frustrated, sometimes all come together in a clump. But just notice whatever emotions you have and see if you can identify the various threads and see if any of the emotions you notice is dominant, more profound, more prominent. Then approaching the dominant emotion or emotions. Notice where in the body you sense it. Sitting with it a little longer, you might notice if it has a color or a shape, temperature. Just notice it in the body. If the mind wanders, and it will, bring it back to the breath, and then back to that emotion. You're just sitting with the emotion, just noticing it, observing it, feeling it, not resisting it. And if the mind wants to back away and not have the experience, that's okay. Be gentle with yourself. Hard emotions can be hard, and you know when you can or can't be with something. And as you sit with that emotion and notice its shape and color and where it sits in the body, just allowing it. It's okay. Humans get upset, disappointed, frustrated, scared, angry. We all do. Notice yourself doing that. Just being human, like you breathe. Sometimes you get disappointed, sad. You're just observing the experience in the body. And as you just sit and notice it, eventually there'll be a little crack between you and it. It won't be all encompassing. It'll be just what it is, an emotion stored in the body. And it is a real emotion that's really there in your body just that way. And in that crack, in that split, in that little space, you can just peek in and see what's in there. Sometimes gratitude lives in there. Just ask, is there anything to be grateful for in that hole, in that opening, in that space? Even if it's just you survived the situation, you're still here. Maybe something to be grateful for. Maybe a lesson learned. The loss of a loved one often comes with the gratitude for having had them in our lives. It might be there, but you'd have to ask and look and see. Just sitting in that little space of gratitude. And you can flip your awareness between the upset and the gratitude. You can focus on the gratitude. You can allow the upset to be. You can have them both. You really can have both spaces. And your attention can only be on one at a time, but they both can be there. All mindfulness is being awake and aware to where our attention is, what's in our awareness. Whenever you're ready, you can thank that gratitude one more time. Thank the experience. Thank yourself. Be really gentle with yourself. This This is hard work sometimes, and being with our own humanity takes something. So be sweet to yourself. Doing great. When you're ready, you can take a couple more breaths. Open the eyes, come on back.